feel like he is to take on even more of the load and maybe, more snaps on defense, more snaps on offense?
Yeah, I think we have a plan in place for his progression. He's done pretty well to this point, and I like the way we've handled that. Really, that's Coach Cohen. He's done a great job, like I said, through the summer, just kind of getting him ramped up and getting acclimated and everything. So I think he's trending the right way, and obviously the more he plays, the better and better he's going to be.
What's the in-game communication like with him? I mean, you're talking to your guys while he's with the offensive guys. How do you find the time to talk to him about the next drive?
He's got to be on, he's got to be on like red alert every second of the game, I guess, just because he's getting information from the offense, getting information from us. And he does a very good job in between series. Even when we're making corrections in there on offense, we have some coaches who get him any of our changes during the game day. So he's done a great job with that. He's really locked in the game, and I thought he did a good job on Sunday.
So Devin Boyd an effective blitzer?
Devin, all the way back through when you watch him in college, I remember evaluating him in college. He's a big body, in general. But he really is blessed with a skill set to pass rush, and he's physical when he does blitz. I think he takes pride in that, takes it personally when he comes downhill and blitzes, and I think he's done a pretty good job with that to this point in the season. And to be honest with you, he works at it. He works at it hard. He puts extra effort into that, watching tape and doing extra stuff. Even with Coach Lukabu after the practice, you could see that every day. So he spent time and done a good job that way.
Follow up on that. You have him, Lukabu, and Winger all at the line of scrimmage, showing blitz, they back out, or they rush. What kind of discipline does it take to not show your hand too early?
Yeah, they've done a good job with all the stuff we asked them to do. We kind of have some multiplicity of that stuff, and we're fortunate we've got some guys that can rush the passer and do a good job in coverage, and I think overall we try to keep an eye on that, how we're doing with all that stuff and the different packages, and I think they've all done a pretty good job, but I think it does take a sense of discipline, and it's a level of football intelligence, if you will, and they all have that.
What have you seen from Antonio just give you confidence in stepping into that third safety role?
Yeah, I thought he really had a good spring and a good summer. He's a big guy that can run, can cover ground. Antonio has ball skills, and he'll hit you. He's tough. So to me, that's always the most important thing. Do you have guys that love football, love to play, good teammates, and they're tough? And he's a tough kid. So that's important to me, and I've seen that out of him. So excited for him.
Without Savage, does it change?
I'm sorry?
Without Savage, does it change anything you guys do on defense just because of the type of player he was? Or
they've all kind of just been in those roles throughout the whole summer, I would say. It's kind of had a little bit of musical chairs, and everybody has played different spots. And I think if you watch us, what we're always trying to get is, have some multiplicity to everybody's game, and hopefully guys can do different jobs. And that gives you a little bit more leeway in terms of who you play with and stuff.
What have you seen from C.J. Stroud in the Texans offense?
Yeah, I think he's, when I was in Miami, we practiced with him his rookie year. So even watching him in practice back then, I was super impressed with him. Great arm, great athlete. And I think the kid's really a good leader, a smart football player too. So I've been impressed with him throughout his career. We played them when I was in Green Bay last year too. So I think he's a really good football player, and I think they have some tough dudes on the offense, some physical guys, and some guys I've coached against in the past, that I have respect for just from coaching against.
Is there a little bit of an unknown, just new offensive scheme? They've only had 2 games plus the preseason.
Yeah, probably similar to us, where it's 2 games that go on us, 2 games of them, and you just try and get the information. As it's coming. They play Monday night, and try and do the best job you can figuring out what they're doing in all the different situations. So we're probably in similar situations, offensively and defensively, the both of us.
You talk so much about getting off blocks, point of attack. Do you like where your guys are right now? Is there more to go on that front?
Yeah, there's always more to go. I'm never going to say there's not. So there's definitely a lot to improve on, but I felt that there was improvement in that area from week 1, even from week 1 to week 2. I thought D. Ham really did a good job in the game. I thought Eric did a really good job in the game. in terms of the run game and not staying blocked. And then Trayvon and Josh both really did a great job. And Trey, I thought, played overall a really, really good game. And we're trending the way we want to play. We're trending in the right direction in terms of play style. You know, it's got to be every snap, every day, every practice. So, you know, you're never not working on that, and you never have it. You know, the game's got a way of humbling you. So you gotta keep working at it.
What are you seeing from Nick Chubb?
Yeah. So when I was in Miami, he was in Cleveland, and we had played them, I want to say in 2022. I remember getting ready for that game. I think he's a great back. He's a downhill runner. He's physical, tough kid, tough guy, I should say. And he just really does a great job of running in between the tackles and, you know, has the speed and ability to get out of there outside the tackle box. So he's a great running back, and he has been in this league for quite a while. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of good things out of him over the years.
Smith got some reps last week. Just how did you see him perform?
I thought he did a good job overall. You know, with the reps that was in, he played detailed. I thought he played really hard. And again, like I said last week, you know, every game's different, but for what we asked him to do in the game, I thought Mason did a good job overall.
The turnovers, 3 of them last game, 3 of them the game before.
Yeah.
How encouraging is that when you kind of see those turnovers? I guess you always say they come in bunches, right?
Yeah, they do. I think that's true. But like anything else, you got to work at that. That is encouraging. Guys are playing with vision on the ball. We got to continue to do that. We got to attack the football. But if we don't do that in practice and we don't drill that as position coaches and myself, the position I'm in, like it ain't going to continue to happen. So it's doing the work every day. And our guys, I think, have been seeing results because they're doing the work every day. So I'm pleased with that at this point, but still work to do there too as well.
Buster practice yesterday. What would getting him back just kind of do for you guys' depth and rotation?
Yeah, Buster had a great spring for us, and obviously got hurt early in the summer. So we were excited about him coming into the summer. And anytime you get a really good player back, it's a shot in the arm for the defense. So I think Buster is a really good player. He's a detailed guy, physical. I think he's got good line of scrimmage skills. So I think it will help us. And like I said, anytime you get somebody like that back, you're excited about it.
Obviously, Travis got more snaps on defense last week. Just in terms of where you think he's at, how confident are you that he can take on even more of a load, and like even on both sides of the ball?
I probably can't speak for the defensive side of the ball, but the offensive progression has been great. We're certainly trying to use him in controlled settings in certain situations that apply for his skill set, but he's embraced that role and continued to grow it kind of week to week.
What's the challenge from series to series, just being able to communicate with him on the sideline? You know, if he's on defense, you can't necessarily give him the adjustments on offense. So when do you guys find the time to do that?
That's part of the reason why we're trying to control when he's out there and where he's out there, or the certain things he's doing, so that way he doesn't have to play every single snap on defense or every single snap on offense. So even if he's on offense and playing the entire series on defense, he's not in every single play, and you can't make those adjustments. So you find those times in the plays that he's not in, the special teams times, to try to prioritize that communication.
The illegal shift penalties last week, how do you clean that up?
Starts in practice, starts in the way we're coaching it. We got to do a better job of emphasizing those details and putting guys in position to go out there and play fast and play clean. Certainly as coaches and players, we all know that that's unacceptable. So it's always a point of emphasis and should always be a point of emphasis, but certainly going into this week, there's extra intention around making sure those don't happen again.
That's something that just, it's still early in learning the offense, learning the playbook during the season and kind of fine-tuning stuff, or is that just something that popped up?
I certainly think that over the course of the season, that will improve just by the nature of getting more reps and more practice with our operation, different formations, different shifts, different motions, different ways of lining up and executing certain plays. So with reps, that will improve, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those are mistakes we should have. You know, we all know that we got to do a better job in those.
What makes Derek Stingley such a good corner?
Well, there are a lot of things that he does a great job of, whether it's playing man or zone. He's got an ability to track the football, challenge guys at the line of scrimmage, off, with vision, without vision, match routes. Like I said, recovering to track the ball, make plays on the ball, whether it's him going up and getting the ball or breaking up passes, finding it. So he does a lot of things really well, and that's why you see him able to play in a lot of different coverages and make plays.
You guys played a really good end last week. What kind of challenge is it with a team like Houston who has 2 of those guys?
Certainly a challenge in the sense that you know there's not one guy that you're always going to be throwing at, but it's nice because it allows you to kind of distribute the ball across your receivers, tight ends, backs, because you're not focused on trying to force things to one player as opposed to another. So there are challenges to it, but there are positives to it as well.
Your screen game popped for some big games against Cincinnati. Liam called it a 3-step screen, a 2-step screen, and a set and go. Is the set and go exactly what it sounds like? It just happens quicker than the other two? How does that work?
Essentially, yes. Setting and going, just trying to get that thing ball out or ball to wherever we're going with those type of set and go screens. The different timings of those screens complement kind of each other and different run plays or pass plays. So changing up that timing helps not only get the ball in space, but neutralize the rush a little bit with those guys, especially a team like Houston or whoever you're playing, and you got those guys flying off the ball.
Is that a play, are those plays you can only really hone in on when you're in a game in pads, because it's, or can you get it in a walkthrough as well?
It's definitely difficult in the walkthrough, really because of the timing. It's a great point about that. Since the defense and certain players on the defense might be going a little bit faster than another player. For example, if you say we're practicing in a walkthrough or walking through at a 50% tempo, one guy's 50% might be closer to 70%, one guy's might be closer to 40%. So the challenge in walkthrough is real for the offensive line, the blockers, anybody in those screens to find the timing of that. When you get out in the live settings, it's certainly much easier to coach off of those and improve those because you get a real feel for the spacing and the reactions of the defense.
When Brian has a game like he had, what do you guys do as offensive coaches to sort of keep him involved, keep him motivated?
I think the way you approach the game plan is always kind of evolving depending on a week-to-week basis on who we're playing, what we do well, how we can get guys in the best positions to do what they do best. So you kind of go back to the game and reassess what do we do well, what do we not do well, and how can we improve on that. And certainly he's a guy who we want to feature and try to give opportunities to make plays because he does a great job when the ball's in his hand.
You got Milan back in practice Friday, then limited today. What's the ramp-up look like for him this week?
Well, I'll let Liam kind of touch on some of those injury things, but it's been great to have him back there as we continue to progress. Great to see him out there running, moving around. We'll see how he feels, and he's been doing a great job working at that rehab process.
And talk with somebody you guys challenged as a staff this offseason, just the consistency. How did you see him kind of respond these first 2 weeks?
I think his improvement from the spring or when we first started even in training camp is evident on tape with some of the techniques, some of the finish, some of that strain that you see, pass protection, run game. He does a great job with a lot of that stuff. Love to see it. I mean, it pops out on tape when you see him finishing guys, finishing downfield, coming off the ball in the run game with his great sets, striking guys in the pass protection game. So it's been exciting to see his progression, and as we continue to work throughout the season, hopefully we can continue to build on that. Quint's awesome in pass blocking to have out there in the sense that he will go out there and strike and is a physical guy who's not afraid of contact by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, probably the opposite of afraid of contact. He almost embraces it. For a guy that size to be that physical and that aggressive is awesome to see.
Is that normal for a rookie running back to be that good in pass pro?
I don't know if that's normal for anybody to approach contact the way he does, but I know it's a lot of fun for me to watch and the rest of the guys to see it.
How helpful is that for you to have a guy that's like that with that sort of skill set to work with?
What he's done in that protection game is exciting, but what he's done in the run game too, and the pass game, catching passes, really everything, the way he's embraced the offense, learning all of his different roles as a back who might not be the guy on first and second down getting every carry, has been a ton of fun. He comes to work with a smile on his face, ton of energy. I wouldn't say he attacks his studying the same way because it's not quite as physical as he does his pass protection, but he has the same enthusiasm for it, which is awesome.
Parker had a lot of yak on his long catch last week. How impressive is sort of his shiftiness when he does get into space like that?
Yeah, his shiftiness poses a challenge for defenders, whether it's safeties, corners, linebackers matched up against him. The other great thing that he's done is go up and be able to track the ball and get the ball. We talked about it a little bit in training camp, him making plays when the ball is thrown his way, making acrobatic catches, going up there and competing for the ball when it's in the air. But when the ball's in his hand, getting vertical, trying to make plays, run after the catch is just another facet to his game and what makes him one of our guys we want to get the ball to.
It seems like Bayshall just avoids negative runs. He's always getting some kind of positive yardage. How valuable is that for the offense, just staying ahead of the chains?
Absolutely, hugely valuable. I don't have the percentages off the top of my head, but when you look at an offense that's 2nd and 8 versus 2nd and 12, your chances of conversion are drastically different. get a first down there. So his ability to keep those chains moving or keep positive runs on the table for us has been great. And then, of course, you see the speed to hit the big one when he has that opportunity.